The secret to achieving the best samosa is in getting the right recipe for your wraps and also having the most delicious filling. I recently made a video of how to make your samosa filling, so do well to check it out. And in this video, I'll be showing you how to make the perfect wraps. We'll be using 4 very simple ingredients. We'll be using some flour, some water, vegetable oil, and salt. So first of all, we're going to go in with our salt. We'll add our salt into our flour mixture and we're going to mix that up. Then go in with your vegetable oil. All the ingredient list will be in the description box. Then begin to gradually add your water. Now when it comes to adding this water, there is no exact measurement to it. It all depends on the quantity of flour you have and also the texture you're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve a not so smooth texture, but we want it to be firm and stretchy. So it's best to go in gradually as you see me do. I'm just adding the water gradually and I'm mixing until I get the perfect consistency. As I mixed in, I still felt it was hard, so I kept on adding water bit by bit. I transferred that to my clean work surface and continued kneading. So you can see, going in with my water little by little. It is best that way you can control it. As you can see, it's beginning to come together while I'm still going in with very little quantity of water. You want to mix and knead. If you have your mixer, that works, but we don't actually want it to over mix, just want it to come together and it's stretchy enough. And then you're going to set that as for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, it's fine. Next up, I'm going to divide my dough into small portions. You can measure it with your scale, but I just use my eyes to measure. I'm going to set all my pieces aside. Then I'm going to start rolling one piece at a time. Now I want you guys to be very focused with this step. I'm rolling in a circular motion. And then the next thing I want to say is that please have your oil and your flour in generous amount. We're going to need that. So I'm going to roll the second dough in the same circular motions. I'm just rolling them just enough to be open, not too big. Next up, I'm going to get my oil and my flour. With a brush, I'm going to dust my oil round a part of that dough. Then I'm going to go in with some sprinkle of flour. And then I'm going to get another of the dough and do the same. Go in with my oil and flour, roll another dough and keep it on top. Now the importance of the oil and the flour is to be able to avoid it from sticking to each other while I'm rolling. So I do the next step, roll. You want to make sure you're rolling in a circular motion because of the process we're working with requires that. So I've added my oil and my flour. I'm going to put it and keep repeating the process until I've exhausted all of my dough. Now follow me very closely. So I'm doing this in 2 different batches. Adding my oil, rolling my dough, adding my oil, adding my flour, putting another dough like that. So I prefer to do it in 2 different batches so that I don't have so much work to do and I can easily control what I'm doing. So I think I heaped about 8 of these doughs on each other. Then I started with another batch of heaping until I had exhausted everything I had. At this point, I was done with everything. So the next step is so you can see my 2 different batches that I had. The next step is to bring that dough that you had heaped, put a bit of flour and begin to roll. Now this is the final rolling we'll be doing to achieve. You want to roll to the degree or to the size with which you want the size of your samosa sheet to be. And you're also checking the size of your pan. So I rolled to a significant size using my eyes to measure, and then that was it. Next up, you're going to get your pan heated up. and a non-stick pan, preferably heated up on fire. Once it starts getting hot, please make sure you're using low heat. I'm going to drop that whole batch on it and let it heat for a bit. Once it heats for 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to flip to the other side and I'm going to begin lifting it up. You don't want it to get burned, just heat up and then you lift. Once it heats up, it's easy to come out, as you can see, and that's what I'm going to just be doing. I will let it heat, flip, take out the one that is directly under, flip again when it gets hot and take out. And you want to be careful so it doesn't tear. It can be hot too, but you know, you gotta be careful. This is one very perfect method I've found. I have other methods. If you want to see, please comment in the comment section right now that you want to see another method and I'll be happy to show you. So I'm going to keep repeating this process until I have been able to go through all of the doughs, and I'm going to go in with the second batch and do the same thing. So you let it heat for a bit, then you turn it over and take it out like that until you have exhausted. You don't need to add any oil. You just want to make sure that your pan is non-stick and you are heating on low heat so it doesn't burn. Be very careful with this process so you don't tear your sheet. That's a lot of work you've put into already. So now we're done and our sheets are ready. You can see how they are looking very thin, very fine. Yes, they are looking very fine. Work done. Next up, I'm going to arrange my sheets onto one another in the perfect way I can. I mean, like, you want it to be directly on each other. You don't want to have one overlapping. Then you're going to get a circular object. I'm using this plate I have. You want to get the object as big as the size of your sheet. Put it over and get your pizza cutter or whatsoever you have. I'm using my knife, and you're going to go around that in a circular motion and then take out any excess you have outside of the plate, as you see me do. This is very important because we want to have a perfect finishing for our pan. For our sheet rather, we don't want all of the excess whatnot that it is. So let's unveil, guys. Yay! And look at our sheet. Super beautiful. Next step, and the final step actually, we're going to cut that into 4 equal parts. Now this is very important. I will be dropping a video that will be showing you how to perfectly wrap your samosa sheet. That way you know why it has to be cut into different sheets. But until then, guys, look at our samosa sheet all ready to be filled with those yummy filling. Guys, if you're enjoying this video, please like, don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, I'll be dropping another video of how to perfectly wrap your samosa. I also have a video of how I made the filling for the samosa, so do well to check the description box or my previous video and you're going to see it. Well, until then, I'm going to see you on my next one, and don't forget to try out this recipe. Take care.